Hi everyone, it's me, Coffee Stitcher. I'm putting my phone on vibrate and setting it on the bed so that it shouldn't go off. I didn't realize just how bad it was reverberating on my floor in my last video, so I apologize for that. So today we've got WIP updates. I know, right? Who would have thought? Actual WIP updates, because it's been forever. Because I was mostly working on Watsits, and I wanted to get that finished so that I could do its own video, so it took up a lot of my time. And I also haven't been stitching as much at work on my lunch break lately because I've been so sleepy that I've been kind of half dozing and half searching Facebook when I wasn't actively eating. Um, so yes. So I've got some WIP updates. I've got a finish, I've got an update on Wizard of Oz, and I've got a little bit of a plug for a friend's new needleminder business. So we shall get going. Oh, I forgot one quick thing. All right, I'm back. Okay, so one of the things I will be doing after I get done with this video is I'm going to go through, I'm going to organize, and I'm going to figure out what needs to be worked on the most. So at first, we'll show you the WIP updates. So I've only got two to show you. One of which is my Soda Stitch Alice, which is being done for a friend of mine, so hopefully she's not watching. But here's where I'm at on her. I got the White Rabbit and the Red Queen's Castle done, and most of Alice done. I just have to finish up her hair and her shoes, and then do her back stitching. I'm hoping to get that done over the next... I'm going to try and work a little on her today, because tomorrow starts the Orange is the New Black stitch along, which leads me to my next WIP update, which is Halloween Eve, which, as some of you may remember, I started for Mania. It was one of my birthday gifts. Here's where I am. I did the gate and the crow and the moon, and I got the ring of leaves, and then I got the shoes and the first little bit of pant leg on Skeleton Boy. The leaves, I did a little bit of color changes to, for a couple of reasons. I used, there were a couple leaves that were purple and green, and I really wanted to keep a fall appearance. So I only did the orange, the yellow, the gold, the brown, and the very deep, well, it's looks like a deep red, but it's actually in that 919, like 917 to 922 orange family, but it's the really red orange in that, as well as the incredibly gorgeous ombre variegated thread that I got from Gabe. So, and I can't really quite point out where it all is because I just sort of was using it at random to replace things. But it's definitely that yellow there, and it's definitely the sort of light brown here. And it worked beautifully, and it was so easy to stitch with. I don't know if he uses a base of DMC or what, but Gabe, your floss was awesome. You really might want to consider selling it, dude. You do very well. So I've got that done. So my goal for the Orange is the New Black stitch along is to at least finish Skeleton Boy and maybe start working on Ghost Boy, or Girl. I don't really know if the Ghost is a boy or a girl because you can't see. So Ghost Individual is what'll be the next. I'm just going to work my way clockwise around. So I will not be watching Orange is the New Black. I tried to get into the show. I understand its appeal. I think it's, I think the writing is pretty much spot on, but there's just something about the show that I don't find, like, I'll watch it, I'll enjoy it, but I don't feel a need to keep watching it. Yeah, I don't really know. I love Kate Mulgrew. I really hate Laura Prepon, but I can sort of tolerate her on this. But I don't know. I don't know. So, is there any show out there like that for y'all? Okay, then. Alright, so the two WIP updates. So, Halloween Eve and Soda Stitch Alice. There's going to be a big update here over the next couple of weeks. I'm getting a new chair and a thread cabinet. My grandmother is moving into it's not an assisted living. It's like an apartment complex that's only you have to be a senior to live in. So it's like those senior residences where it's like, hey, we're all seniors, so there's no loud children and, you know, no parties that are wild with lampshades. And so I'm getting the chair and cabinet from her. So there will be a lot coming. So right now my organization, I did some just to sort of clean things up a bit, but it's far from being done. Okay, we'll do an update on Oz. Thank you. Thank you to everyone out there who responded. Thank you especially to the Organic Granny, who talked me through a couple of things. Thank you to everyone who commented. Thank you to Angie and Kimmy and Jackie and all my usual friends who put up with me trying not to melt down. It was a terrifying evening. But we have good news. It came clean. No sign at all. We soaked it. I put it into soak that night. We soaked it overnight. And then when my parents got up the next morning, because I had already gone to work, we changed the water and soaked it again. And then when I got home that afternoon, we took it out of the water, we let it dry, and it was totally fine. So, yay! I'm very, very, very pleased. And actually, I think it helps. I think washing it actually helped a lot. I think certain colors now show up a little bit better. And I did, for those of you who are probably going to ask, I did take the dreaded purple that I used, and I soaked it, and I soaked, I did a test of all the purples and reds, red colors that I had from General Arts. What I discovered was their mainline ones, the ones that you can get on 1-2-3 Stitch, at your LNS, etc., etc., those are fine. Or at least the ones I had, none of them bled. The ones that did bleed, however, were their limited edition ones that come in the thread packs. Those bled. So I soaked those so that they wouldn't bleed again. So that's just something I've discovered. Now, I will, going forward, sorry, I'm really needing coffee today. Going forward, I will be using I will be soaking any red and purple that I get. And blues if I feel like they might run. But, there we go. So, yes. So, yes, definitely colors, make them color fast. Alright. So, I'm trying to think, is there anything else on that topic that I had? No. No, there wasn't. Okay. So, now I'll show the next finish. This one is the Snowflower Diaries Haunted House. It's a freebie. It called for Nina's threads, but because in America I don't believe there is even a 1-2-3 Stitch doesn't carry. I think you can really only get it through Nina in the US. I know she has a few European shops that stock her. Stock, not stalk. Stock. I know English. I can pronunciate things. Not really even sure pronunciate's a word, but whatever. So since I'm trying to go through all of my Weeks dye works because I'm converting myself over to General Arts for two reasons. Weeks just raised their prices, so for a 5-yard, it's I think now up to $275 or so for a 5-yard skein. Whereas at my LNS, General Arts is $3.25 for a 10-yard skein. So cost-wise, it works out better, and I like the way the Gentle Arts works better. So I'm going Gentle Arts. That's my thing. Anyhow, so I'm trying to use that up. And so I used Onyx and Daylily and Honeysuckle and Grits and a little bit of Mulberry. Oh, and Chris's Bonbon. I did use Chris's Bonbon for her mouth. So here she is. I took out the flowers because I wanted her to be a little bit more Halloween, so I put in the word boo. And you can't really tell too well. You mind if I hold it back a little bit? But I used acrylic sort of iridescent blending filament on her body, so she sort of sparkles. And then the windows have the acrylic, it's not pineapple, I want to say it's grapefruit. It's whatever their yellow glow-in-the-dark color is. That blending filament is in the windows. So I don't know yet how I'm going to finish it. It's on 30 count, Weeks Dye Works Peoria Purple. It's on the same one that I did Ding Dong Witch is Dead on. Which I still have to actually turn into an FFO. And need to, because it's going to be going with me to OzCon as well. But it was a little freebie. And it was a lot of fun. It was my work stitch, because it had very few colors. But that leads me to my sort of thing that I'm going to throw out here. And maybe someone can help me. I really like the Snowflower Diaries freebies. Weirdly, I'm not as wild about her actual patterns that you have to pay for, but I really like her seasonal witches, and I've got, obviously, the stuff for her mermaid. But my question is this. The mermaid is a regular PDF. Or just a regular, excuse me, I think it's just a JPEG, actually. The witches and Haunted House are both uploaded to Scribd. I do not have a subscription to Scribd. When I printed out the pattern, I was able to print it out, but it printed out, like, it only took up, like, this much of a page. Is there a way to print it better than that? Because I really don't like working off my laptop. I really prefer to have the full thing, and since I lost my tablet charger, I can't use the tablet. I seriously have no idea where the cord went. No clue. None. So if anyone has any suggestions on getting those printed and printing them bigger, because I don't want to pay the $8.99 a month to print 4 free patterns, because then they're not free, I would greatly, greatly appreciate that. So, yes. And I will be doing Mermaid. It's going to be, my goal with everything is I will not start my Chatelaine until I have 4 finishes. So I've got 1 finish down. I'm going to go through and see what else is close to being finished. To go with that, one of the things I may allow myself to do, because I'm still trying to decide for sure on the color of my fabric for it, I may allow myself to start Mermaid to see how that color does, at least to see the stitch through. I did discover, you may remember, I got a scroll frame from one of my old regulars. I discovered that if I use the scroll frame, this one, that I can actually see to stitch on the really dark blue. So it was mostly the Q-snap there. I just need a big, I need bigger bars than this. So I'm not necessarily opposed to the darker fabric now, but I still think I would prefer to do it on a lighter fabric because it makes it much more easy. And since I know the chatelaine is going to be difficult to begin with, I think I want to go for that. Alright, so I guess the next little things that I added. Oh, yesterday I went by Barnes & Noble, and I picked up an embroidery book from DK, which I think is Dorling Kindersley. Dorling Kindersley, thank you. And it's got, I was reading through it last night, it has all sorts of really awesome, all of the specialty stitches just about. It's got very, very good directions. So I picked this up for Watsits and other things that I may decide, oh, I want to do a specialty stitch here. What can I do? And so it was like 15 bucks. And it's got, it says more than 200 stitches. Does it give an actual number? Of course not. To actually say inside here, 234. So, and it'll also give technique variations. It's a pretty awesome little thing. So, sorry, work issue. All right. The other thing, and I will put a link to the group in the descriptions, is I believe it's called Minding My Minders. It's run by a lovely lady named Jeannie Freaks, or Frakes. I'm not really sure which is the correct pronunciation. Yes, Minding My Minders. She does a little bit of a few. I think I saw a few of the resin ones. I don't think there's many of them if there are. She's not doing any of the blingy needle minders, but she is, however, doing the sort of bottle cap ones. She does the little Scrabble tile sized ones. So she so she started a business, so I bought from her. And I bought several lovelies. One of them was actually for my mother and has already been given to her, so I can't show you that one. None of the ones that I bought should really surprise anybody who knows me. And she shipped very, very fast. They were packaged in bubble wrap. They're attached to note cards. I will say the magnets are ridiculously strong, so if you get enough to go onto a second note card, you'll want to be very careful when you're working with them because they'll stick to each other. I did buy one of her last little blingy ones. It's Rainbow Bright. I was never a Rainbow Bright kid. I think mostly because she was on cable and we didn't have it. But I thought she was adorable and pretty, so I bought her. And yes, I did buy from Gina. I did not buy all of the Oz ones. I bought a Dorothy and I bought an Ursula because I really need to watch some money. If the other Oz ones are still available at a later date, then I will buy them then. Oh, I also bought a Piggy, a Kermit, a Cookie Monster, and an Ariel from her too. So, yeah. Then I got 2 Sailor Moon ones because I love me some Sailor Moon, and it's one of just Usagi winking, and one of her with the Rainbow Crystal Wand. I think that's the Rainbow Crystal Wand. I love Sailor Moon, but there are so many different random wand things, and they change season to season that I'm not really good at keeping up with it. But I do have the pretty box set. So excited when it came out. Alright. Then we're going to get into things that won't surprise you. They're all Oz. I got this one, which has sort of purpley red gems around it. And I'm not sure what the origin for this artwork is. I recognize the Dorothy and Toto from a poster that was really common in the 90s. But the witch doesn't look like that in that one, Glinda doesn't look like that, and neither do the 3 friends. So I'm not really sure where the origin of the image is, or if it's cobbled together from a couple, but there it is. Then I got the 4 friends headed towards Emerald City. The publicity photo of Dorothy and Toto. That's been around for, that was one of the ones they, it's a fairly common image. It's one of the ones that, there's 3 or 4 photos from that shoot that are out there circulating. As well as one really cute one. There's a tree stump and Judy's kind of hunched down looking at Toto across it, and Toto's up on her front paws looking at her. It's adorable. One of the 4 friends, as they see Emerald City in the distance, this is after they've met the lion and just before the poppy field. And then, of course, Dorothy getting the ruby slippers for the first time. Which, of interesting note, the missing pair of ruby slippers that was stolen 10 years ago, they are possibly finding today. It's a big thing that's kind of unraveling. And and hopefully the slippers are in okay condition. So we will see. It's going to be very, very interesting to see what happens. Yes, so there we are. I don't really have anything else to add. Orange is the New Black Stitch Along is this weekend. Yeah. I have some bobbinating to do, I know, on Seaflora, because I really didn't like doing the loose skein thing. That just didn't work for me. So, yeah. Alright, well, I think that's everything I have on my end. I hope everyone is doing very well. I don't have anything else to add. So, I hope everyone's having a terrific week, and I will talk/see you all potentially sometime soon.